strings on me.
Hey, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy Connor, your PrimitiveAK here. We are back with another video, and today it's going to be Modern Warfare for the very first time on the channel officially. The private beta, or actually not really private beta, but open beta is now online for PS4 only. So if you're on PS4, you can actually play this game and download it right now. The servers are up, so you can play it. But today we're going to be discussing the best settings that are most ideal for this game, which will most likely translate all the way into the official release of the game. So if you guys are new, make sure you guys drop a like and subscribe. Really do appreciate you guys showing the love and support. If you guys want to see more Modern Warfare videos, or if you want to see more content, be sure to subscribe, stay tuned, and leave it in the comments box for some suggestions as well. Let's get right into today's video. So for your settings, guys, there's going to be quite a bit of options here that are going to change the way your game actually plays. So we're going to jump right into the settings here. You're going to want to go over to your controller tab, and right off the bat, if you're playing on a SCUF controller, you're going to want to leave these on default. If you're playing on a regular controller, you might want to switch your button layout over to tactical and leave your stick layout on default. There are quite a few different options here that you can try out. Bumper jumper is another very common one for people that don't have SCUFs, so those are some interesting ones you could try out as well as stick and move. That's another big one. But if you have just a SCUF controller, I recommend leaving this on default. Your inverted vertical look, no one's going to use that. I don't think you're going to use that, so there's no point using it. If you have vibration on, you're going to want to make sure that is off. Now, as I state in pretty much every single settings video, your horizontal and vertical aim sensitivity, these are going to be based off of your own play style, so I cannot give you an exact number that's going to help you out. However, if you want to be more accurate, especially at long range fights, the lower the number this is, the better it is. So I personally play on a 6 or a 7. It is a little bit higher than Black Ops 4, so the higher the number, the more accurate it is to BO4's lower number. So for example, if you are on a 6 sensitivity in Black Ops 4, I recommend turning this up to a 7. If you are on a 9, I recommend turning this up to a 10. But like I said, you may feel differently. Only way to know is if you give it a shot, play around with different numbers and see what you like. Depleted ammo weapon switch, you're going to want to leave this on enabled. Weapon mount activation, this is kind of something that you can either turn it on or turn it off. I don't really use this feature too much, but I don't mind it being on the game, so I kind of leave it on. So this is basically like when you mount your weapon, if you're on a head glitch, your weapon will actually mount onto the thing and you'll get decreased recoil. So I'd recommend, if you like that feature, leave it on where it is right now, which is hold ADS plus melee. Weapon mount movement exit, that's something where you lean on objects. I recommend leaving that on. It's a nice little feature, it can help out quite a bit. Aim down sight behavior, leave this on hold, that's standard. Equipment behavior, hold as well. Now your aim assist, this is going to be something we're going to cover in another video because there's a lot that goes into the aim assist on this game, and I think it's one thing a lot of people overlooked or didn't really discuss at all, so I'm going to discuss that. But if you want traditional aim assist on COD, I recommend leaving this on standard or experimental. What experimental is going to do is this is going to change up your aim assist a tad bit, where it's going to actually slow down your target assist just a tad bit for people that are moving at a certain speed. It's very hard to explain, which is why I'm going to try to do this in another video separately to explain it a little better, but I don't really feel the need for experimental. Enhanced is absolutely crazy. Well, like I said, we'll talk about this in another video, but I recommend if you're not really used to any of that crazy stuff, just leave this on standard. Target assist, that's when you're not scoped in, but your screen sort of rotates around the target when someone runs past you, so I recommend leaving that on. Steady aim, leave that on hold. Your movement slide behavior, I recommend you put this on tap. So when you slide in this game, what this essentially means is that if you're going to slide, if you leave this on default, which is hold, you have to hold down the sprint button, or not the sprint button, the slide button, which is typically circle. I'm not a fan of that. I prefer to just press once and be done with it. So I recommend leaving this on tap. But like I said, personal preference. It's entirely up to you. You just got to play around with it and see what you like. Sprint reload cancel, leave this on enabled. That's a very good feature as well. Vehicle camera recenter, leave that on. Now moving on to your general, your brightness, obviously this is going to depend on your TV or your monitor. I recommend leaving this at 50 if you don't really want to mess with it. Your film grain, this is another interesting feature. The lower this number is, the better. I think the default is actually 25, so I just kind of left it that way. Language, obviously, whatever language. Colorblind type, don't mess with this. Colorblind target, don't mess with that either. Now this is a big one, guys. World motion blur and weapon motion blur. You must, and I'm telling you, I don't care how good or how bad you are at the game, you need to have this off. All right. Infinity Ward had this in their previous COD, which was Infinite Warfare, and it was a absolutely dreadful feature that completely blurred up your screen whenever you're rapidly moving, especially for a jetpack COD. It was definitely a feature that should not have been in the game, and I'm glad that we were able to disable it. So I strongly advise you guys turn off your world motion blur and your weapon motion blur. This is going to eliminate any type of blur, so that way you can clearly see your targets a lot better. Moving on to your audio, you're going to want to turn off your controller sound. So I believe this is on disabled by default. So leave that on enabled. Mute controller sound enable. So leave that as is. Audio mix. This is kind of, you know, hit or miss really. I wouldn't recommend messing with audio mix at all. I kind of just leave that as is, and obviously other audio settings you can mess around with these as well, whatever you feel helps you out the best. But anyways guys, hopefully you guys enjoy the beta. If you're on PS4, it is currently live as we speak on Thursday, which was very nice of them to leave the beta open for us. Anyways guys, I'll have another video out very soon talking about the beta, my thoughts on the gameplay so far. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys in the next one. It's your boy Carnage or PrimitiveAK signing out. Peace out, fellas.